Okay, back again, another emoji broadcast, podcast, live stream, or whatever it is. So basically, I'm in the unintentional free time, even though it's supposed to be in an unintentional scheduled free time. But since it was basically in the middle of a public day off, so most people is actually having a day off right now. But yeah, I'm still not trying to take the same thing like most people because I prefer to do it when most people already come back perhaps. So I decided to take my personal leave at the end of this week before the weekend. Besides, it's basically also more proper perhaps because for some reason I eventually have some other things that's probably more worthy for me to take a personal leave rather than just doing nothing, which I eventually still work anyway. Because yeah, when you're able to work at any place that you want, so there is no much differences between having a leave or having a personal leave and also work, unless you basically have some other activities or maybe having a vacation, which obviously need to it take the leave very seriously perhaps. I don't know, because yeah, most likely you will never had a time to do the work during your vacation, because yeah, most of the time you basically have some sort of busyness on your trip. So basically, I finally tried to use my brand new cheapest Logitech headphone that I can bought. So it's only around $9, and for some reason, price is definitely able to divine. So it's never lie. So it was basically much worse than my previous Logitech headphone that I don't know still have a broken microphone, but yeah, in terms of listening to the audio it still works perfectly, and for some reason the audio is also not that different. Consider this was technically not a USB headphone, so it's just a regular audio jack, which I basically able to plug it in into the phone that still have an audio jack directly without having some adapters. But yeah, since it was basically the cheapest headphone that I can bought from Logitech, so yeah, it's basically pretty small and it's not really convenient in terms of the earbud, but at least it's much more convenient rather than the regular earphone, which basically make me itchy, or it's just make me uncomfortable if I basically try to use it for quite a long time. Maybe because I have a sensitive ear, perhaps, I don't know, because I always love to listen to the audio, any kind of audio, through a speaker instead of something like this, which basically attach to your head all the time that you want to hear. But obviously this kind of thing is basically something that makes you able to listen to any kind of audio without having to disturb your surroundings. But yeah, since most of the time I basically try to listen to the audio in the private space, so I don't think this is really important unless I was in the public place, which most likely I don't really like to listen to any kind of audio in the public place, because I always think that I can enjoy other natural audio environment perhaps. So yeah, I don't know whether this is gonna be long lasting or it's eventually gonna be broken as well, but at least for the official warranty I think it's should be several months until a single year. I don't know, because yeah, for some reason if I basically wanted to upgrade to into the dedicated microphone, USB microphone, which is definitely pretty expensive, much more expensive than my Logitech. Or maybe I basically try to bought a cheaper Logitech USB headphone that's basically available right now, which is an old stock that was somehow still not sold, because I used to found the old stock that basically in a higher version than what I have. But yeah, sadly it's already too late because it's already sold to another person. But oh well, I don't know when will I finally able to spend some money in my favorite marketplace, because for some reason I always try to spend money only on my favorite e-commerce offline store, which I basically try to save as much money as possible, but it eventually it's still pretty big either. At least it was, I don't know how to explain this, but it eventually still try to bought something that's probably unnecessary, or even I basically forgot that I used to bought those same thing before, which is yeah pretty annoying, and it's definitely pretty bad as well, because yeah, I don't know whether it is gonna be taken as my responsibility when I already gone from this world or not, but at least I always dream that if I finally gone from this world, then yeah, I basically wanted to donate all of the things that I had, because for some reason there's no differences when you're already gone from this world. So the only thing that make it difference is obviously when all of the things that you had is basically donate to the people that more need, or at least unfortunate peoples that never experience something better in their life, perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, most likely, or most people is definitely not try to do this, obviously, especially when they had a descendants, because yeah, even for me, I always try to expect some support from my ancestors in terms of the, I don't know, legacy, fortune, I don't know what's the correct word to describe this. But yeah, that's the thing. Something that will be inherent to you. Some valuable things that you will inherit in order to support you, because for some reason most of the things that used to be cheap in the past, or is still affordable maybe by your ancestor, is definitely no longer affordable by yourself, especially when you didn't have a proper job to have the same level of increment in terms of the salary. So that's the reason why I basically try to move on into another kind of businesses, which I don't know whether it is gonna be easy or not, because for some reason my ancestors are also not really support me to do those kind of business, because most of my ancestor is still pretty much working for another people, which I always think that no matter how hard that I have tried, but yes, if we are not lucky enough, it's just pretty hard to climb up the career ladder until you finally have the same amount of money like what your ancestor used to have perhaps in the past. So yeah, that's pretty irony, but yeah, that's the only thing that we can do, and we just have to accept and be grateful about it, because for some reason, although we didn't have the same amount of money like what our ancestor used to have, but at least we have a choice to, I don't know, reduce our expenses as much as possible through the supports, if there's any. But yeah, at least I basically try to something better in the future, which hopefully work. So right now, in less than 2 hours, I basically had an interview into another new opportunity. I don't know whether it will be succeed or not, but at least I try to open for a better things in the future, hopefully. Because yeah, for some reason there are several new opportunity in the past which I basically already pretty sure that I'm pretty confident with my result, but it turns out yeah, it's still eventually unknown. Maybe because there is a lot of other participants that basically have the same result, and yeah, and then there is some sort of random or choose by their own luckiness. I don't know. So it's already more than 10 minutes, it's already more than 11 minutes. I basically don't want to waste my whole unintentional free time, which I don't know when will it finally finish. So I think I will try to move on into the Zoom recording. Perhaps we recorded an emoji as usual, although I never really try to explain what I have experienced from the last emoji live stream. So maybe I will try to explain it quite fast. So yeah, last week I obviously didn't create any kind of content because most of the time I basically need to work on my main job of tasks at a specific place only, which obviously no longer have some time, or whether it is intentional or unintentional scheduled free time that I can have during the workday. Besides, I obviously already pretty exhausted as well, because yeah, most of the time when you basically require to work at a specific place, you basically need to spend a lot of time commuting into the busyness, into a lot of traffic that basically caused by some construction, into a better place to commute, perhaps using public transportation, obviously. But yeah, if you talk about the evolution of a public transportation, it's basically needs to wait a lot of years until we already old enough. Even though yeah, I'm basically already quite old, but yeah, imagine when all of those public transportation is already complete, is already very old, perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, because there's no such thing as immortality or the ability to fast forward time without having to age, because yeah, for some reason your health or your body is never a lie, it eventually decay, perhaps, I don't know. So there's still nothing that basically like what we are see in the movie or any kind of science fiction. And what else? So even though yeah, there is a lot of time that was spent in the specific place just to yeah, talk in physically talk with my colleague, and didn't have so many unique things, I guess, unless the weekend, which is basically able to meet with one of my high school friends that was also overseas, perhaps, even though it's not overseas, into a different country. But yeah, it's basically pretty rare to have an opportunity to physically meet. But yeah, it's pretty worthy, at least when I eventually didn't have another time with my college friend overseas, so it's only able to meet them once, which already several weeks ago. So yeah, there is definitely a week where I basically only spend most of my time doing the things that I want to do on my own as usual, because yeah, I'm still some motivation yet into getting what I basically wanted, or can hopefully make me satisfied, because I don't know whether it is actually gonna be easy, or it's gonna be like several times in the past which I eventually not even start anything and it's just already unavailable. So I think that's all of the unique things that I basically have experienced for the last several weeks, I guess. For the last time that I basically tried to create this emoji live stream, because for some reason I think this already approaching one of the longest live stream as well. It's already more than 15 minutes, and I think I basically wanted to do some unique things, whether it is another physical hangout with one of the high school friends which will gonna back overseas but still in the same country, because yeah, try to utilize the time when there's a chance in the similar places or the similar state or in nearby places, perhaps, I don't know, because maybe after that I basically need to wait several months until I finally meet, whether it is college friend or it's high school friends. So yeah,